All right. Welcome, Speed Gaming, to the SGL 2024 Super Metroid Map Randomizer Tournament. We have a great match for you today. We got Andy versus Diddy, the first round of the lower bracket. My name is Eddie, and joining me on comms today is WX Fan. WX, how you doing?
Good, Eddie. How are you?
Oh, amazing, amazing. Yeah, really excited for this race.
This is going to be awesome. I'm so looking forward to this. We got heavy hitter Andy. I don't know too much about Diddy. Can you tell us anything about him?
Yeah, Diddy has a lot of experience, helps organize a lot of other randomizer tournaments, does administrative work, has been around the community for quite a while, and has scored pretty well in this tournament. I mean, just qualifying for the Map Random tournament is not easy. That being said, Diddy was knocked into the lower bracket, none other than Oats and Goats, and Solsky going down from the winner's bracket from Lunix, which was a little bit of an upset. So we do have this match in the lower bracket out, and that means we're only playing game one today. The other two games, if there is a third game, the other games will be played, I believe, Monday. But just the scheduling issues, we have to get this first game out for today. So it won't be over after this one game. But yeah, I mean, I would say Andy's probably a little bit of the favorite here, getting knocked into the lower bracket in a little bit of an upset. And yeah, I'm excited to see this match.
Oh, absolutely. This is going to be a ton of fun. So I am also doing the tracking today. So I am going to be in the middle of doing both. So let's see what we got. We got team left finding Morph, and team right finds an energy tank. Oh, no.
So.
It was both left. My apologies. Diddy went right to the next door. Let's go.
Both players immediately going left and immediately getting Morph and the filler E-Tank. In tricky progression, you are always given an E-Tank in the first filler location possible, so that was the filler E-Tank. So filler E-Tank still means that it could be mandatory, but it's just whenever there's an item that's kind of free to get, it's going to be the first item will be an E-Tank. So both players now heading right. There's nothing else to do but going this way, and let's see what they got in store for us today.
Well, folks, as of course we all know, save early, save often, get to the map stations. I tell it to y'all every single race. Nice speed booster find. Energy tank and speed booster. Okay, this is going to be an interesting seed.
Ooh, interesting. So this is the Morph room. There's going to be an item on the ceiling that they can get with the Shine Spark or a Speedy Jump. And he's going to go for the Speedy Jump right here, it looks like. And
Varia!
All right. Some may call this a baby seed. Ooh, Diddy getting a little Speedy Jump up there. And both players are going to head up here as well. So,
Eddie, I was going to talk to you about, how we're finding that E-Tank to start things off. Maybe we're going to get a couple of heated runs. And forget about it!
Nope. Yeah, that first E-Tank is filler, so you're just going to get one pretty much no matter what. Something I want to point out that's kind of interesting, a common thing when you get Speed Booster, you typically, how Map Rando works in tricky progression is you want to follow the item that you get, right? So you take the Speed Booster, you might think, oh, well, there's two things I can do. I could break the blocks on the top left, the gauntlet entrance, or I can fly to the top right, because those are both unlocked by the Speed Booster. That being said, our Speed Booster has already been justified by going into that right room over there and getting that Varia. So now we're kind of looking at like, okay, what are some hell runs that I can do? Because Varia was the last thing I got, so that's kind of what these players are looking for.
Andy took a quick reset.
I didn't quite get to see, but I guess that door was maybe a green door or something. They couldn't get through. I don't know why else Andy would reset there. So, oh, I think Andy realized that the right door was just the Fast Rippers room, so there was nothing to do there. Yeah.
So this isn't good. So we're finding the Torian pirates. These guys can, I believe, only be destroyed by what? Plasma and speed?
No, you can actually kill them with anything. They just have a million HP. So yeah, they're
well,
actually quite weak too. Yeah, they don't even hurt. It's because they're just kind of at the end of the game. I think the game, they didn't really want you to like die to these pirates or anything at the end of the game. So yeah, they're actually quite, the only thing is they're just really beefy. So there's not a good way to kill them.
Fair. I mean, it's like the developers intended for people to actually, go through this the way that it's actually intended, and not, thinking 15, 20 years down the line, oh, we're going to have this ridiculous speed running and randomizer community. So, I always thought they were the hardest pirates, and the game's in Gravity!
Oh my gosh, baby seed!
Seed!
That's the biggest baby seed I've seen in my entire life. Okay, so Okay, just because they get double suit in the beginning of the game, they still have some issues, right? First of all, this seed has been quite linear. There's been nothing else they could do except go this way. We know the top right, it just leads. Oh, Andy! Oh my gosh, he was just
Andy,
practicing
please.
this. Okay, gets out with 13 HP. All
Chat
right.
wants a reroll. Chat wants a reroll.
All right. Yeah, this is kind of interesting. So it's hard to. Sometimes there are some players that I would be like, okay, some players that maybe have more vanilla experience than rando experience, I'd be like, this is a seed that favors them heavily, right? I'm not really sure where these two kind of align with each other. Diddy just wants to get out like right now. Okay, I was afraid if missed that wall jump and it's bad. What we need to see right now from both these players, because we have these double suits, we got the speed booster. So sometimes in map rando, speed booster lock stuff can really kind of halt you a little bit and really screw you over. You cannot, now that you have this double suit, right? Sure, if you're playing casually, you're like, oh yeah, this is comfy, this is awesome. But now you have double suit, you got speed booster, you basically like just are looking for like a little bit to just beat the game. You cannot go slow. You need to move fast and make quick decisions and not spend too much time thinking, because it's a seed that's going to go really, really quickly otherwise. Andy getting greeted by that red door up there and can't make it through.
Yeah, no, 100%, Eddie. So, you know, things that these racers really need to keep in mind is, yeah, we've got suits early, but like, I've seen these seeds before. Just because you get suits early doesn't mean progression isn't tough. You're not going to find beams. Charge could be out of your way. And like, we just found our first super pack. Diddy coming across another item, high jump.
Yeah, that's big. Andy deciding, I want to just gun it for the map as fast as possible. So kind of just went to the left and right. Go looking for the map very quickly. But Diddy just decided to peek that little bottom door. Gets rewarded with high jump boots, which is kind of nice. There's a good chance that the players may be able to get to the map at some point. Looks like Andy's trying to figure out how to get to the map exactly here. And he looks like he wants to go up. Looks like he wants to go back up the climb shaft, which is most likely how we get there. That being said, we have that toilet room on the left that goes up. So it's possible that it's through the toilet that they have to get up there. So Diddy also seeing the bad news, not seeing a way to get up that room. But I think what's kind of making them nervous right now is they only have one power bomb, and climb to get to the right rooms typically require some additional power bombs. They can get them back by going back into that one lower north room, the heated room they pass by, because the Violas drop power bombs. And I think that's where Andy might be headed towards.
Ooh, East Ocean.
Okay, so if Andy goes all the way, I think he's gonna maybe identify that. Okay, here's the problem. He's gonna have to spark up if he wants to be able to get back. Because, okay, he's gonna go up and kind of gamble up here. But you can see Diddy is actually killing these crabs to refill his power bombs. Because, yeah, you don't really want to get stuck with zero like Andy has. It's kind of spooky. Okay. The farm over here, these guys can drop power bombs, but the drop rate is actually kind of low. Meanwhile, Diddy's gonna fill up right here. So, Andy might just progress and hope for a better power bomb drop, but
also just the pea shooter makes it a little bit more difficult. You see Andy getting whacked a couple times by these enemies.
It's annoying. They get two shot as opposed to one shot with like basically everything else. Okay, he looks like he got one power bomb here. I think he might want to just peek the next door because the drop rate really isn't that great. And Diddy going off the top finds a new area, Brinstar.
And it's Main Street to get things started at Brinstar.
That means there are two items. One is inaccessible until you find the other entrance, but the other he could get right now. He just has to do a little short charge.
And there it is. Toilet to map station. That was part of it.
Toilet to map station, but at the same time, it looks like this climb does connect to it, so it's all nicely synced. I kind of wish Diddy went for a spark there to grab that E-tank.
Would have been helpful.
Yeah, so maybe he'll go ahead and do that. It's a little tricky, but as long as you know like where to jump, it should be fine. Doesn't want to take a hit though, that's for sure. And he's gonna pick up this map now.
And okay, there's the item at the end of East Ocean. It's a major. West side, we get a major. Interesting setup for criteria, triple majors, and then of course we get the Brinstar door.
Yeah, I think for sure Andy and Diddy. Andy's going to take a quick reset here, knows that he's going to be a little bit closer to this major because he missed that high jump earlier. Wait, this is a little bit elsewhere. So you might think like, okay, these guys have double suit. They have speed. Like, why are we searching for majors, right? So the conundrum here, we're going to see Diddy grab this E-Tank? All right. You sometimes don't want to necessarily go for majors because, you know, part of the reason you're going for majors mainly is like, I want to find a suit, and then maybe I want some charge, and I want some other items, right?
Yep.
But these players are so far away from being able to kill Ridley, being able to kill Mother Brain, that you can either pick up 1,000,000 ammo or you can find charge, right?
Exactly.
So right now you just kind of want to find charge. So you want to play for the majors because it's so early in the game. We got double suit. You're thinking about like what's going to put me in go mode. So Andy's probably going to go hunt these majors and try to get that charge beam. You don't want just lone charge beam, but any other 4 beams would probably be acceptable in terms
Yes,
of
no,
enough
charged
damage.
up. Yeah, charged up pea shooter is not what any runner really wants to go fight Mother Brain with.
Not at
But
all.
oh, well, that's bombs, so that's going to help Andy out dramatically in terms of not having to worry about just the 5 power bombs that they have.
Yeah. Interesting. Diddy is kind of running around. I'm a little bit nervous for him because that first super pack that we saw from Andy was just at the moat, not too far away. But I mean, I guess he's going to get a quick map here, so we'll be able to do whatever he has to do and then quickly make a decision on if he's going to stay or leave.
This is also big map info. Now, we know it's not the deactivated map station, so we're not going to be finding Fantoon. We see Dragon here. We see 2 very close majors up here in Big Pink. That's going to be huge. A 3rd major out over towards one of the gauntlet sides. And this is going to be really interesting. I see a couple of holodots, but look at all of the missiles. Like, if I'm Diddy, go hunt at least 1 or 2 holodots. See if you can get at least your first pack of supers.
Yeah, definitely want your first pack of supers. That's one of the things, for those who play maybe Link to the Past Randomizers, Spring Ball not going to be too useful for us. But if you play something like Link to the Past Randomizers, typically everything is locked out, like hard locked. Like you need hookshot to kill this boss. You need bow to get through this.
It's charge.
Ooh, charge beam. That's really good find. That's a really good find for Diddy. So yeah, amazing find for Diddy. Good that he came up here. That's pretty much it. I don't think you really want to go out of your way for too many majors at this point. Just the ones that are kind of close.
What did Andy pick up? Did he get his high jump?
Andy did get his high jump. Yes,
Yep.
he got his high jump, and he's heading over to grab this other major in Criteria. Okay, so if there is an entrance to Turian where Diddy is right now, and that's probably the one scary thing. I think it would be better, X-ray for Andy, not really what he wanted to see.
Nope.
If there was no entrance to Turian here, Diddy would be really happy because what that means is you just grab your charge, and there's a Dragon fight. Although the Dragon fight is not trivial with his current loadout. But you do need to take care of that. So Diddy is going to go over here through the gauntlet to pick up another major. So the reason why it's getting a little bit scary, right, is the map is kind of split. There were other options. You can go down to Norfair, but Diddy can go up to Turian, right? So what Diddy does not want to see is like continue to go up and then find like Mother Brain over there, right?
Ooh.
Ice Beam. That's a
nice
find. Gosh, this is where you want to go. Well, this is where you want to go for these majors because Ice Charge, you know, 1 more beam would be like, all right, I'm like comfy. I don't think I'm looking for anything else. But Ice is definitely one of the better beams because of the utility it has. So
also honestly, the easiest Zeb skip. Yes. The easiest of the Zeb skips, because this has been talked about, you know, through multiple times, whether it's you, Eddie, talking about it, whether I'm talking about it, whether Aussie's talking about whoever. Sometimes when you find Mother Brain, the room prior gives you no room for a speed Zeb skip. I remember I was commentating a seed. It was the Morph Ball tunnel in Everest to Mother Brain. You can't speed Zeb skip that.
Yep. Exactly. Especially if you don't have a charge. If you have charge, then it's whatever. Just blast all the Zebs and then just do a charge beam fight. But, you know, Andy obviously doesn't have charge right now. Diddy had to refill these power bombs. Otherwise, there was a chance he was going to get soft locked. So just trying to be a little bit careful. Now, here's the problem. He's struggling on the super issue, right? So
yes,
for all we know, the only set of super is Spazer for Andy. So not really the majors he wants, but that Spazer is going to be useful for that extra beam damage. But yeah, Diddy is going to have to find some supers quickly, and it's possible that the only like reasonable supers to get were the ones that were near Andy. That was very close to the beginning of the game. So until Diddy goes back for that, it could be a little spooky. This could be potentially good for him, but it's kind of just depends on where Turian is going to go. But yeah, Diddy is being sent back down into criteria. Oh, looks like he wants to peek over here. Going to the other side of. So it looks like this is another way to get into Brinstar. He's hunting for the hollow dot essentially, right? Because he wants supers. So hopefully there's another path for it.
This is exactly like I said. Like trying, it would do Diddy some good to at least try to get 1 or 2 close hollow dots if he can. Now, obviously, it would be nice to get the Edacoon, the Edacoon's one there because but it's locked by a green door. So how do you get there? We can get there by the morph ball tunnel, so we got to go up here. There's only 5 power bombs. Diddy, I again would do him a world of good to be able to go and hunt for at least 1 super pack.
Yep, I think that's what he's trying to do right now, but the problem is, if he wants to get to the top of that shaft, he needs to use 2 power bombs. So I think he's like trying to calculate in his head, I gotta use 2 to get up, unless I do like a really tight short charge right here, which I don't know if he can do. He's like, am I gonna soft lock myself if I do this? I think that's where he's like trying to calculate this, because if I'm playing on 5 power bombs, honestly, it just sucks, right?
Yeah.
So this is where he's like, I think he had to like think about it, because he didn't want to like just lock himself out by accident.
I agree with you. And also, if you think about it, how huge early on here, 15 minutes in, was that finding bombs for Andy? Again, does not have to worry about power bomb ammo anymore. And here's Aqueduct, 2 items plus a map room, as long as it's not the deactivated map room. For those of you who have never seen a map rando before, there is obviously the wrecked ship. Nice space jump. The wrecked ship map room indicates that Fantoon is in that area, and Eddie, correct me if I'm wrong, about 2 rooms away from the map room.
The map room is always in the exact same room as Fantoon, just like in the vanilla game, actually. In the basement of Wrecked Ship, the map room is on the left side, and the Fantoon is on the right. So, it could, I guess it could in theory happen in this room.
Big area. Ridley.
Okay, this is getting really spicy right
now.
No
majors.
So first thing we have to point out is Andy did go down to Norfair, whereas Diddy went up to Brinstar, right? Diddy got the majors that like they both really, really want. Diddy has the better major count for sure with Charge and Ice. And Andy is in a way in a little bit of trouble because he can't kill Ridley right now. He needs a little bit more ammo. So we're probably going to see him be a little bit more about like, okay, you know what? I'm going to maybe collect some missiles that I didn't want to before because I need to kill Ridley right now if I can. And so that's kind of what he's doing. He's going to enter a wreck ship right now. Basically, here's one of the big things. We haven't seen where Mother Brain is right now yet, right?
Nope.
If Mother Brain is down where Andy is, this is really, really unfortunate for Andy. But because Diddy is on such a hunt for these power bombs and couldn't find it, this is actually kind of a lot of time being lost for Diddy. So I would say right now it's looking really good for Diddy in terms of routing, but it's not looking good for him in terms of the fact that he can't find a super, which is costing him so much time. So
absolutely.
Yeah, Diddy is not really going to be picking up excess ammo because of the items that he has. So Andy's kind of going on a little bit of an ammo hunt because he's like, well, I don't really know when I'm ever going to find Charge. And I know where Ridley is right now, so I do want to kill him. Diddy is going to do kind of a tough Dragon fight, a low percent ice style Dragon fight. It's not going to be quick.
Nope.
But it is a boss, and you do have to kill all 4 bosses.
Yep, we've seen this before here in Map Randos, where, some racers will go ahead and elect to go do this Dragon fight, like you said, low ice style, with not a lot of ammo. Now, I will say I've never seen a Dragon fight with no supers before, but we do have speed. They do have speed booster.
Yep.
So Shine Sparking Dragon can affect Dragon, by the way.
Ooh, that was not the greatest Shine Spark. Doesn't want to get poked.
Oh!
Wait, oh gosh, yeah, because your health here is a resource. You can think of your health as ammunition because your Shine Spark is by far the biggest way to hurt Dre. And if Diddy's taking damage like he is right now, then that means this fight is just going to go on even longer.
Yeah, Diddy's got to be careful. I'll be taking 2 whacks from Dragon.
I don't think he's in Spark anymore after that.
Oh, that's tough.
Yeah, this is the rest of this is going to be have to charge and ammo. Oh my gosh, be careful.
Diddy, please.
Okay, so as Diddy does this fight, let's see what Andy gets on the map. This can be pretty critical. Nothing? Anything to the right?
Mother Brain and Kraid.
Mother Brain. Okay, so We still don't know where Fantoon is, but what that means is Fantoon. Diddy in a little bit of trouble here.
Diddy, please no. Diddy.
Okay.
Yeah.
Diddy has to win this fight, but I have to say something.
Go ahead.
If Diddy can get supers and goes back up into Turian, oh gosh, don't take another hit, Diddy. Oh, this is so scary. Diddy's route is the God route if he were to have gotten supers and then went up to Turian, because Fantoon is probably there. Then he goes back down, finishes Kraid, Ridley. Oh my gosh. And then beats the game. That would be the God route, but because he missed the supers, he's having some issues.
Yep. Andy going after this hollow dot.
So right now, you know, honestly, if I were Andy, I don't think I go for these hollow dots. I would argue that maybe going for these hollow dots is a mistake. And Diddy
nice Dragon fight.
Finishing off that Dragon fight, that was pretty clutch.
Nicely
I think
done.
Andy at this point knows that everything else is up top, right? Because he saw Ridley, he saw Kraid, he saw Motherbrain. So now he's looking for Fantoon and Dre, right? He knows that he is going to go through Ridley to come back down to Motherbrain, right?
Yep.
So for that reason, I think Andy's picking up ammo to be able to kill Ridley. But I think what that means is he'd be better off actually going all the way to the top and going on a charge hunt and just forgoing all the miners at this point. Because Motherbrain is back down. He's going to have to go past Ridley and come back down anyway. So I would argue that maybe ammo hunting at this point is maybe not the best way. Maybe there was a major here and I missed it. But I'm not sure why he's... Oh, maybe he was close to Kraid right now. So, because Kraid was kind of separated from Motherbrain, but...
So Diddy found more power bombs, which is nice, but it's not the supers he wanted.
It's
and
not
a nice
the supers.
Yep, and a nice quick kill, Kraid quick kill there from Andy, who's going to get rewarded with just some missiles. But again, 35 missiles, 10 supers. Now we have two areas we haven't seen. We haven't seen Torian. We haven't seen Meridia. Fantoon is the only boss left we haven't seen yet.
Yep.
And there's the Brinstar door. I don't even think we've seen a Meridia door. Meridia has to be with the Torian.
Exactly. So I think if Andy was quick to like kind of deduce that, I think at this point, I personally don't think he should look for any more miners because he has 4 tanks. That's enough. He's got 35, 10, 10, which is like, you have to get a lot more ammo if you want to beat the game with that. I think he should be looking for a charge at this point. I mean, sure, you can go grab the hollow dots if they're like right next to you, but he knows he should at this point deduce that he has to go back up to Brim, and that's where everything else that he has to do is.
Agreed.
So, personally, I think he just needs to go up right now because he does know that there's nothing left to do here in Norfair and Wreckship.
Yep, agreed. As you see, Diddy... Ooh, Diddy's doing the opposite of what we're telling Andy to do. Diddy leaves Bryn and is not heading to Torian.
Here's the problem. Because he never got that super, he's like, okay, well, it's clearly not here in Bryn. Let's go find it somewhere else. Now, this is where it gets bad for Diddy. Diddy had the route that was maybe going to just flat out crush Andy. Like, it would have been like just game over because he goes up, kills Fantoon, kills Dre. Oh, on the way down, oh, it's Ridley, kills Ridley. Oh, it's Kraid and Motherbrain, kills Kraid and Motherbrain. That would have been the God route. But because he's locked out by the supers, now he has to go back into criteria. So the question is he going to go back into Brinstar to finish off what was up there and go into Torian? Or is he going to go, oh, well, Norfair's right here. I'm going to go into Norfair. Because if he goes into Norfair, Andy's going to be very far ahead of this game 1 now because Andy is now finishing Norfair and going back up, and he's going to clear that entire part out. That's going to be the pivotal moment of this seed, I believe.
Oh, I agree with you. Like, if Diddy had done that God routing, he'd be in contention for best route in this entire tournament.
Yeah, it would have been
time in the tournament, everything. Like, it would have been just incredible. So, here we go. Andy is heading up toilet, finally finds his way back to criteria, and Diddy's about to find the rest of the criteria map. We know we've got a lot of other majors here. Is Diddy hunting for majors, or is Diddy gonna go hunt some holodots? We see Pants Room, we see X-Ray, which leads to a missile. We see Plasma Room has a missile. Where is Diddy gonna go? That's gonna be the biggest factor here. And while we're at it, Eddie, I think everyone watching this needs to go follow these runners. So !R in the Twitch chat to follow both of these amazing runners. !C if you want to follow the commentary and tracking teams. Let's get this going because this is one heck of a race. Two heavy hitters really showing off an amazing race. And there is Diddy's super pack.
Ooh, okay, so Diddy has a few options. Charge Ice, the beam is kind of weak, right? So the question is, do you grab some majors for some extra beam damage? And I think you can do that. I think you should do that, in fact, if the major is close by, but I don't think you really want to go too far out of the way for certain majors. So just grab the close ones. If you just get one more beam, that's probably enough. And it looks like this major is really close, so Diddy's going to go grab that. I think these were the bombs, if I remember correctly. So not maybe the beam that he
no,
wants.
this is bombs.
Yes, okay.
Really
So
nice.
Spazer was, I believe, on like the very right, and if Diddy goes to the left, that's going to be X-ray, which is going to be fairly useless for the most part, unless there's like one situation where things can get a little dicey, and that's if they find pants room and it's required, because then the typical way to get through is going to be with grapple. If you have ice, you can ice clip it, but it's basically frame perfect. If you have ice plus X-ray, it's easier, but I don't know if that's something that Diddy has practiced. That being said, we see a pants room right here, so that's not actually going to be a problem. So this is going to come down to, is Diddy going to go down to Norfair, or is he going to go up into Turian? And that's what we got to find out.
Absolutely. Thank you, chat, for making sure I'm checking off grades. So one boss down for each racer. Again, we know where Ridley is. We obviously know where Kraid and Dragon are. No clue where Fantoon is hiding. So Andy is going to absolutely love seeing these two majors very close to him. Obviously, we know Ice Beam's at the end of Gauntlet. And we'll see what else goes on. But like you said, does Andy even continue to hunt dots at this point? Or as soon as Andy comes across that charge beam, Andy's like, I am busting it to Torian. Alright, here's Andy's charge beam. Boom. So Andy gets charged. And Andy got his spring ball. So this is going to be pretty interesting. Andy's eyeing that other major to the left side of Brainstar. We'll see if Andy heads down that way. And is going to go take a safety save. I like this. Diddy heading down to Norfair. Oh, Diddy again had a possibility of an insane god route of this, but Diddy has found Norfair and is going to do the same thing Andy basically just did earlier on in this race.
Sorry, I'm back really quickly, but I have to say, Diddy going to Norfair, unfortunately, it just makes sense, because if you go back to Turian, that means you have to go through Brinstar to get to Turian. So why choose Turian over Norfair, which is right there? That's the problem, right? So it just makes sense to go to Norfair. Unfortunately, we know because Andy went there early, this isn't the way you want to be. You're going to find, sure, you're going to find the boss, but what's going to happen is you're going to find Motherbrand and you go, oh God, Fantoon, it's somewhere up in Turian. So you have to traverse all the way back up to get there, which is where Andy's going right now, So this is going to be, this is disastrous. Diddy was so close. It was just the location of the super pack. If Diddy found a super pack anywhere up there, he'd be like, okay, well, let's go to Turian because we're here. But because he had to go back for the super pack and he's like, oh, it's Norfair. Now he's down here and Andy is suddenly in the lead.
Yeah, Diddy might be kicking themselves when this race is over.
Yeah, it's tough, right? Because in the end, it's like there's just one door, and you can't know that supers are going to be through that door, right?
Correct.
But Andy chose to check it, and he got the supers, and then Andy went the wrong way. And then Diddy went the right way, but just didn't have the supers. So unfortunately, it's not working out. I mean, there's still game to play, so we'll have to see. But Diddy's probably going to be roped into heading downwards.
I also find it interesting that as soon as we get into Torian, that it's actually Everest, which is pretty interesting to me. Oh, hello, Shack Tool.
This is tricky. Andy might actually want to turn around here. Okay, I guess
I
he's
was
gonna
thinking
continue.
turn around and check top left of Everest and see if you
Yes.
can go up that way.
Yes, I think both are reasonable because you do have to backtrack a little bit. I'd be slightly more inclined to do the left side and just kind of assume that there's going to be maybe like business center, some sort of like long like shaft that goes up and down with a lot of doors, that kind of thing, or like an elevator that leads up there. But it's just because the shaft was kind of slow. But it's not. You have to backtrack anyway to go to the left door, and in the end, it's like who knows how it's going to connect. So, and he's just choosing to do it because he's right here.
Absolutely.
All right, so let's see what we're gonna get right here. Oh, this is heading upwards, so it's looking good for Andy so far. Yeah, look at that long the caterpillar room leading to an elevator up there. So this is looking good.
What you want to see?
Elevator to the left.
All right. Oh, and it's the G form, so we're going up to the left.
Mm-hmm. And this is looking like it's getting to the map now. Andy obviously is kind of hoping that this is going to be a left map with that Fantoon. Oh, and is it going to be here in Parlor? Yes, so he should be just check these right doors right away. I think at this point, I think he can deduce that it's probably Fantoon. This is either this one or the pocket upstairs. Perfect. There we go. Now, this is it. Andy knows where all the bosses are at this point. He saw the Dragon in Bryn, and he saw the Ridley on the way down. So Fantoon, he knows that he is now officially in go mode. He's just going to clear this up and go straight to boss hunting.
Great.
And killing Mother Brain. All right, so Diddy getting the bad news saying, oh God, I went all the way down here, and this is where I want to be finishing up, not being in the mid game.
Yep.
So what Diddy hopefully does at this point is just immediately guns it back and tries to go straight to where Andy's going.
Boss hunt's gonna be good, and you know, you talked about Spazer earlier. Oh, is that extra beam gonna come in handy
no,
now
for sure.
for the Mother Brain fight? Diddy still hasn't come across Spazer yet.
No, and I don't think Diddy's ever going to get Spazer because that Spazer beam, Andy was hunting it because he didn't have charge. So he kind of went out of his way for a major, which happened to be Spazer. And the other one was X-ray, right? So it's like, you don't want to go too far, even though you want the beam damage. You also don't want to go like too far away. So I don't know if Diddy's ever going to get that Spazer. I mean, maybe he runs into Plasma because Andy's about to... Is he going to grab this map? So Andy doesn't have to grab this map, but he is gonna just grab it real quick. Maybe he can find a Plasma nearby or something.
Yeah, find a major on the way out, just like that one.
Yeah, major right there. There's a decent chance, real decent chance that that's Plasma. Right?
Yep.
Grapple, Plasma, Screw. I guess we haven't seen Wave yet. So, you know, 2 out of the 4 majors that are remaining. 2 out of the 4 majors remaining are going to be adding extra damage, and that room is only like a door transition away or so. If it's Plasma, that's going to be huge, obviously. But even Wave is going to add a significant amount of damage.
Oh no, Diddy did get Spazer. My bad.
Oh, Diddy does have Spazer. Okay, yeah, probably didn't get X-ray is my guess because that one was particularly out of the way. So was able to save time on Andy there. Also, I think Andy doing Kraid when he did it was a very small mistake, kind of having to backtrack just a few rooms when he could have done it maybe towards the end.
I kind of would have waited until, like, you know, you're ready to fight Mother Brain.
Yeah.
Like, yes, I know it's a boss, but still.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, because in the end, it's all about efficiency on your routing, right? I mean, that's literally why Andy is so far ahead right now, because Diddy so close to having the perfect route, but ended up kind of double backtracking essentially, and that's why Andy's so far ahead at this moment.
Okay, screw attack.
That's
not the beam.
Yeah, that's actually like the worst thing he could have gotten, because like all it does is make the Zeb skip harder at this point. He's not scared of anything. Even grapple would have maybe helped him on the Dragon fight, so that's kind of a little unfortunate, but not really a big deal. Yeah, I mean, so we'll see. They still have to do all the bosses. And yeah, it's crazy how close this nice quick falls from Andy. It's kind of crazy how close this seed has been. There have been multiple kind of pivoting, like kind of turning points where it's like, okay, is Diddy gonna go back into Turian? We kind of established no, he can't really, because why go into Turian when Norfair is right there?
That's literally the entire turning point of this entire race.
Exactly. But if there was just another super pack somewhere that Diddy could get access to, then he probably goes into Turian and has the perfect route essentially. So it's just kind of unlucky how that worked out. The other thing that Andy is going to save time on is having that fast Dragon.
Yep. We've only seen 2 super packs, Eddie. That's it. That's all we've seen. And that is extremely low for even a map rando. That's low in general. And it's an energy tank. Andy was hoping to pick up another super missile pack on his way out.
Yep. That was the energy tank that Diddy had to kind of take a convoluted way from the bottom using a bunch of power bombs and was concerned about soft locking and getting it. Yep. So if that was Diddy a super, oh my gosh. Like,
yep. And
this
Diddy
could have been over.
Yeah, Diddy finally back into Turian now.
All right, so I think Turian was supposed to be Meridia because I don't know if there was another way in, but I didn't actually even see it on the map. So, I mean, yeah,
neither of us were looking for Meridia. We knew how this game was gonna end.
Exactly. So, yeah, Diddy is just trailing behind, and but does still have the same beam combo. But Andy has definitely some better ammo to use on Ridley and and Mother Brain, so things just only kind of looking good for Andy. The other thing is Andy obviously has 6 E-Tanks. Things can become disastrous in Mother Brain, you never really know, right? But with 6 E-Tanks, I'm pretty sure Andy is comfy with everything that's going to happen. So
correct.
Yeah, we'll just have to wait and see how the execution goes for Andy. It's possible that maybe Diddy can make a time.
There's the first Shine Spark.
I can't wait to see someone do a Spark and Mac Rando, completely whiff Dragon and just fly out the door. That's going to be the funniest thing.
That'll be fantastic.
Someday it'll happen. We'll see it.
Someone please do that. Yeah. Just diagonal Shine Spark at the perfect spot and head out the door, please. Oats is like, he's done it. Oats, you were the first one I thought of for that chicken. Oh! Andy with the blue suit, can you get the spike? Nope, but has a very pretty looking blue suit.
Yep. Dashed and immediately lost it, but yeah, no real need for it. Andy heading down is gonna fight Ridley next. Decided to try to do a little mock ball through there, but base jumped and flung up. That was kind of funny.
All right, so all Andy has to do is go and destroy Ridley.
Yep, has to go destroy Ridley. Dre is now dead.
Yep.
And heading down to Mother Brain. Already took care of Kraid down there. So yeah, Diddy also has to kill Kraid on top of everything else.
Diddy also going to be very close to finding Fantoon. Ooh, another. Diddy, what are you good against the super pack, dude? Yeah, that's exactly. Go. Go get the super pack. You have space jump. You have spring ball. Does the super pack at this point insult you?
I want to say that, like, in his mind, he wanted to, like, get run speed or something to, like, space jump and then realize, oh, I have spring ball or something like that.
No, he was insulted because he didn't get that super pack didn't appear when he needed it to begin with.
Let's see if Diddy checks this right door real quick. Yep. Okay, both of these players correctly predicting that Fantoon.
Boom, Fantoon.
Yeah, it's kind of crazy. Like several pivoting moments for both players, but in the end, it looks like sort of the way that Andy approached it. It was not looking good for him at first because I was like, oh my gosh, Diddy ran. I was like, Diddy just ran into charge and ice, and like all they needed was charge and like one beam, and I was like, this is looking real bad for Andy. But that super that Diddy had to go back down for, basically just forced them back into the route that Andy took. So lost all that advantage because essentially Andy comes back up even though he gets the charge later and had to pick up additional ammo. It just kind of didn't really matter at this point because they both kind of took the same route that ended up being not that great.
Absolutely.
All right, funny little thing. Right before Ridley is actually Batoon, so I think Andy was like saying, or Andy was thinking like, am I just going in from the back here? I didn't quite see what was in the back room, but it looks like Andy's probably not gonna want to go in from the front. Okay. Well, let's see if he turns around. He's gonna probably press pause unless he knows. Nope. Okay. So maybe he saw that the map there was no good way to get to the back, but I wouldn't want to fight Batoon here because you're gonna drop all your supers essentially, which is exactly what Andy did. And those supers do double damage on Ridley, so this does slow down the fight significantly, but I'm gonna guess that must mean that there was no way to get to Ridley from the back. No, I think there was. Where's he going? Andy? Is he trying to refill? Huh. I'm a little confused right now. I guess he wants to refill on supers, but I mean, his beam isn't like the weakest.
No, it's not. It's charge ice phaser. Would you like wave and plasma? Sure.
Okay, I guess he's just gonna refill. Okay. I don't think he should be doing this. The supers do 600 damage. This beam does I'm not exactly sure. I want to say it does like 200 or something like that, maybe a little bit more than that. So the time it takes to
180 is what chat's saying. 180.
180. Okay, so I mean the time it takes to kind of regain all these supers, I don't think offsets the just doing the extra beam fights. And I could understand it maybe if Andy had like 2 E-tanks. But Andy's got plenty of tanks, so and he literally was practicing this fight right before the stream started, getting good Ridley time. So I think he could have been completely fine. Okay, so
hello, Ridley.
Croc was at the bottom side. That was the way. So yeah, Andy could not come in. I think it was Croc, so Andy would have to go in from bottom fight. Can't go through Croc from the left.
So Diddy's also going to go grab this major on the way out, just like Andy did. It is going to be screw attack, which we know.
Yep, not exactly what you want, but yeah, you gotta go for it. I mean, it's just there's such a good, decent. It's so quick to grab this item, and there's just a really good chance it's going to be wave or plasma.
Yep.
Which would speed up because you just still have to fight Ridley. If you only have to fight Mother Brain, then you could maybe just say like, I don't want to get this. But the beam is going to be good for both Ridley and Mother Brain and save you a good chunk of time. So you gotta kind of grab it if it's only a few transitions away.
Yep. Good Ridley fight so far. Again, Andy just has to be very careful. Again, 180 damage with this beam combo. Not the greatest, but it's not terrible. It beats the charged ice pea shooter.
When I have a beam combo that I'm unfamiliar with, what I like to do is leave 15 supers. Obviously, Andy doesn't have 15 supers, but 30 missiles and 10 supers is the equivalent of 15 supers. What I like to do is then use my beam until Ridley turns red, and then I know the remaining of my ammo is exactly enough to kill Ridley, essentially. Or maybe just maybe a few missiles off, but essentially that's going to be the way I approach it. Because otherwise, unless Andy literally knows how to do all this math in his head right now for the exact damage, he's not going to know when Ridley's dead, and he's just going to have to shoot and guess and look at Ridley's AI to see if Ridley starts like kind of lunging at him because he's dead.
Yep. That time got tail whacked.
Yep. Nope. Ridley's dead right now. But yeah, see, this is the issue you kind of get into. Like Ridley sort of just like whacks you a bunch of times, especially if you don't have much health. You kind of need to set up the fight in a way where you know, like, okay, I know, how do I find out that Ridley is going to be dead when I'm done with it? So that's just a small little tip. All right, Diddy heading back down is going to have to take care of Ridley and has to take care of Kraid by that Mother Brain, whereas Andy was able to do that earlier.
So looking at the tracker, the only things we don't have are wave and plasma.
Grapple as well.
Grapple, yep.
That's probably all on Meridia.
So pretty interesting.
Locked away.
Yep, so question in the Twitch chat from Krovax. What's the overall format of this tourney? Is it double elim or are there groups in the beginning? There were 8 qualifiers, and you needed a minimum of 2 qualifiers. That averages your times together. If you did a third, your lowest one would be dropped, and then obviously the best 2 would be averaged together. And the top 32 qualifying times compete based on your average time starting. And then seeds 1 to 32. It is a double elimination bracket. And like Eddie's already said, we've already seen some upsets very early.
Yep. Yeah. So Andy, this is the first round of the lower bracket. So both these players were knocked out in the first round into the lower bracket. So this is only game one, and we're only getting game one today. The rest of the matches will be played, I believe, on Monday for these players. Just the scheduling issue with them. But basically, whoever loses this best of three is out of the tournament. So Andy getting a little upset actually from by Lunix in the first round, and Diddy actually getting knocked into the lower bracket by Oats in the first round as well. So both these players are fighting for their lives, and so this match does matter. And Diddy getting that X-ray. Unfortunately, that was a little bit out of the way. I don't know, even if you told me it was going to be a beam there, I don't know if it was worth it necessarily to grab it. But Diddy deciding, okay, you know what, I just want to see if it's going to be something good for me. Unfortunately, that X-ray. That's one of those things that you kind of hope as Diddy when you find that early charge in ice, that you hope. And look, Diddy finally getting the supers that Andy got earlier. If you kind of realize now that, like, oh my gosh, that was right there, I'm sure that's something that would make him not feel very good about the seed if he can kind of put that together real quick in his head. But like, yeah, that's like, it's another one of those seeds where this actually happened in the Andy versus Lunix match as well, where Lunix actually missed the first super that Andy got, and that super ended up being the last super that Lunix got. And I think it's almost like the repeat. The first super that Andy gets is going to be the last that Diddy might end up getting. So kind of funny how that ends up working out.
So the interesting thing to note here, right? And I want to make sure everyone knows and understands this. Like, every game is a best of three. Upper brackets best of three, lower brackets best of three. This isn't a one and done. Like, there is a ridiculous amount of map random that we're going to be having all the way through into September. So it's going to be a fun summer of Super Metroid. And here we go. Andy is heading to Mother Brain.
There's something I have to say. First of all, that's not going to freeze. He doesn't have wave. Andy's missile count is looking quite sketch. So you need,
not good.
If Andy, I hope Andy took a save, because you need 18 projectiles to kill Mother Brain, no matter what, even if you have all supers. So if he gets 2 missiles eaten, he's gonna have to reset. So
be very careful. No problem.
There we go. Okay.
Good job. So this will be a little bit of a longer Mother Brain fight.
Well, if it's 180 damage, that's a 100-shot fight. Minus 600 because he's got 1 super, but yeah, this is gonna be like a 97-shot fight essentially.
So 96. Basically, everybody get your pillows, get your blankets, grab a cup of coffee, hang out in whatever chair or couch or bed you're laying in, and enjoy Mother Brain getting blasted by this 180 damage beam.
And you're already taking a little bit of damage. Diddy getting scammed by the bot twin hitboxes right here.
So one thing I want to say about Lunix, a underrated rando runner. I've played against Lunix in a multi-world, and also I've commentated a lot of the Speedrunners Arena stuff, so I've seen and commentated Lunix's matches. I'm surprised at the upset, but I'm kind of not. So, gotta make sure I give Lunix his flowers as well.
Oh, no, absolutely not.
Looking forward to seeing what comes out of a lot of these runners. We have an insane amount of talent in this tournament.
Yes, like the amount of map rando kind of recently got really popular, and racing has been something that's been going on basically every single day. And oh my gosh, Andy's taking a lot of damage here. Gotta be careful here. But yeah, I mean, the qualifiers, it was originally going to be 24 players total, and now it's being upped. It was up because of the popularity. It was up to 32, and it was still not easy to qualify. There were a lot of good players that really tried to make it up there and just could not.
Yep.
So I mean, it's like there's nothing to scoff at. If you're in here in the tournament, you deserve to be here. That's all I can say.
Look, there were some of the early qualifiers that Aussie and I commentated on. We had almost 30 people per qualifier. That's insane.
All right, Diddy also farming up, just like Andy did.
Yep.
I think I understand it from Diddy's perspective. His health isn't as good as Andy's was necessarily. I mean, I guess it's just by 1 E-tank. But
Yep, so we got a nice quality of life.
Easier.
Yeah, so this is a nice quality of life change that you're about to see from Andy. Mother Brain only attacks you to the cutscene, like normal. But there's no cutscene and no Mother Brain 3 fight. Mother Brain's done. You only get to fight Mother Brains 1 and 2. And now Andy's ready to go. All right, Eddie. I'm going to guess 2 minutes, 10 seconds. Ooh, 3:30!
That's a long escape.
That's a very long escape.
Yep. So the way the escape is calculated, there is a base time where, assuming full loadout, I think Matto did most of the rooms, just kind of like goes through the room cleanly. Not like super insane room strat, but goes through the room with basically no mistakes. Figures out the base, and then with hard difficulty, I think it's a 1.5 multiplier, it could be 1.4. So yeah, essentially if Andy were to get through this with like very few mistakes at all, we can expect to see maybe 50 seconds to a minute on the clock. So if you say less than that, then he had some movement flubs maybe, or I mean, obviously that would be playing perfect, but could also have maybe gone through some bad door transitions, something like that.
Yeah, Diddy also doing nice damage with these power bombs as well. Fun fact, if you didn't know you could attack Ridley with power bombs, you can.
Yep,
Also in map,
damage.
Yep. Also in map rando, the unique thing about escape is you get every single item in the game.
Yep.
If you didn't have it already.
Yep, exactly. Otherwise, things could get kind of really awkward. But yeah, if you didn't have that high jump, you didn't have speed, you didn't have space jump, you have it now. The one thing you don't have is, I guess, ammunition, but that doesn't really matter. Your hyper beam is going to take care of every single door, essentially. The only thing it can't break are speed blocks and chroma blocks. But otherwise, that hyper beam will just break everything.
Yep.
All right, so Andy flying through the escape.
Doing good so far. 2 minutes, 18 seconds. Getting very close to leaving Norfair.
The escape is nothing to scoff at.
No, it's not.
Many times races are something determined because it's easy to sometimes make a wrong turn, and that might end your escape. You got to reset. If you do reset, you do start back at the beginning of the escape, so you don't have to refight Mother Brain or anything like that. But they're at the higher levels, you really want to minimize pausing in the escape and sort of relying on that mini map, saying, okay, I'm backtracking through the tiles that I already covered. So if I see like a gray tile, I probably don't have to go that way. And you kind of have to dig a little bit into your memory and be like, okay, is this the path back? So using the combination of both, you can absolutely minimize pauses, sometimes even go pauses on the escape. So that's what Andy's trying to do in this one. And I think he is almost on his way out because he's back in criteria right now.
Yep, through the red fish room.
Climb. I think it's this singular door, not the very bottom, I believe. Oh, I think he can get through the bottom actually, but yeah, this is where we originally came from, this middle door. It gave us power bomb issues at the beginning of the game. I know we're at that wreck shift main shaft. Below was high jump, and I think to the right, we're getting real close to that ship. Real close to that ship.
This is a very clean escape from Andy. Very, very impressive. Now just a couple more rooms to make it through. We got the 3 Musketeers room with no Musketeers to deal with.
Oh yeah, if everyone remembers the beginning of this game, the linear seed, I think that's where we found that gravity suit. And we were like, oh my gosh, it's officially a baby seed.
Yep, 3 minutes in.
Yep, 3 minutes in. So here we go. Heading up the lead docks, we saw both these players kind of get through the tanky pirates with very little equipment, but now we just spark up here. And we are now at the landing site. Andy, as we said, with a minute left on the clock, heading to the ship.
Boom.
GG. Andy coming in first place on today's race with an official race time of 52 minutes and 26 seconds. GG.
Wow. Just absolutely outstanding. Well done to Andy. And it looks like Diddy is going to be finishing this race up. Going to be getting very close. Obviously is close to Kraid and Mother Brain at this point. So they are finishing up the seed. There is no forfeit. Yep. So Andy takes game 1 of this best of 3 series. Get your GGs in the Twitch chat. Very nicely done. And here comes the winner. It's Andy. Andy, GGs.
GGs.
GG. Andy, so we have some thoughts on maybe how that seed went for you. Give us your thoughts. How were you feeling during the seed? Were you nervous at some point? Were there any moments where you're like, uh-oh, this is not good, stuff like that? Just can you give us some thoughts there?
I was feeling pretty good. Once I didn't even see the Brinstar portal off of Criteria at first. So when I went to Norfair and only saw Rex ship and then that dead ended, I was like, I missed something. And like, it's not that big of a deal. Like, Kraid was down here. I don't have to go out of my way to do that later, I guess. Although, like, the drops would have been really nice, I guess, if I had ended with Kraid. But I was like, okay, I missed something in Criteria, I guess, because there definitely was no other portal in Norfair.
Yeah.
But I didn't feel too bad because I knew that, especially with Kraid and Mother Brain like dead ending that way, I was like, maybe I can skip an area that comes at, which I ended up being able to skip Meridia, which was really nice.
You know, I'm actually I'm a little confused because the way I see it, the Kraid kill was like, I thought you should have just saved that towards the end because I didn't see the purpose of kind of slightly deviating and going to kill Kraid at that point because you could always do it at the end, right? I was gonna say I feel like at that point you could deduce that Brinstar had everything because that was the only way left. So I was wondering if you would just go straight up to Bryn, knowing that you had to kill the rest of those guys. That's how I felt, at least.
I think that is definitely the better route. I mostly killed Kraid early because the hollow dots with how low my ammo was, and I was like, okay, there's 2 hollow dots, like basically like 2 rooms off of the Kraid path.
Yes, that's what I thought you might have done it for. The other thing I was actually saying regarding that, I was gonna say, I think at that point I was wondering maybe the better way to approach it was to know that Ridley was back on the way down. So then committing to charge, knowing that charge was going to be somewhere in that Bryn and Turian area. At least that's kind of how I felt. Eventually you ran into that charge and ice. We got scared because Diddy actually went up to Bryn, and that would have been the god route because the first 2 items he found was charge and ice. So I'm like, oh my god, and he's gonna get destroyed this season. But what ended up happening is Diddy never got the moat supers. So he couldn't, he went like all through. It was unlucky because he had to kind of take all these convoluted routes to find these hollows, only to find power bombs and E-tanks. And then he went back down and got supers in Criteria, and at that point he was right next to Norfair, so he took the same route as you, essentially. But he was so close to essentially having like the god route, and I was like, oh god, this is already over. That's almost what I was thinking.
It could have been one of, if not the fastest seed we have seen in this tournament so far.
Yeah, it was a little spooky, but there was some drama, I guess, when we were watching both of you. I'm like, oh god, Andy's going down, and Diddy's going up, and Diddy's having the god route, but
Andy,
fiasco got him.
Why you almost died of the 3 Musketeers twice? Like, why?
I was fine. I wasn't even worried. Eddie taught me how to dodge them one time, so
nice.
So yeah, I was mostly fine.
Nice biased commentary, apparently.
Yeah, exactly.
Cool.
Yeah. Any other thoughts on that seed? I was thinking because you went all the way down and dead ended on Mother Brain, I thought maybe you were feeling like, oh god, like this is so bad. I would have like been like, oh, I would have felt like horrible in that case, but it looks like you
yeah, I mean, I felt okay. Like I was playing well today.
Yeah.
So I was feeling okay. Like I definitely was like, this could be bad in my brain, but I wasn't worrying too much about it.
Yeah, got it. Yeah, that makes sense. I think given the tough stuff you had to do in the Lunix matches.
Yeah, God, I could have played this one asleep compared to the 3 seeds I got against Lunix.
Yeah, we may have said baby seed a few times at the beginning.
Certified Eddie seed.
Hey. The slander.
But yeah, the seed was pretty interesting. I liked the opening.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, thanks for coming, guys.
Yeah,
glad it was a fun watch.
That was fun
at all. All right, Andy. Quick question, actually.
Yeah.
You still have 2 more matches. When is that going to be? Is that going to be on Monday?
I think Monday. Diddy is unavailable until Monday. So.
Got it. Okay, and that's where we're gonna finish off those games.
Losers bracket round 1. I got like 80 more races I gotta play when I'm gonna for my inevitable finals appearance, right? So we gotta crank these bad boys out.
Yeah, it's gonna be you and me in the finals, right? That's how it's gonna be.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Yeah.
As I go through Solski, Oates, Zeb, Nevdi, especially Nevdi.
Yep. You say that, and then Diddy's gonna make the comeback and get you up 2-1.
Oh yeah.
What is Diddy doing?
I think Diddy was looking for some supers. It looks like I saw him farming the Puyos, but yeah, it looked like it was not dropping any supers here. So,
listen, the Charge Ice Spazer fight made my thumb basically fall off. So I'm down for farming some, especially with like the 3 straight red doors I had to open to get to Mother Brain.
Yep.
I was like, oh god.
You had to think about your ammo con, right? You probably was like, okay, 19.
I was like
2 shots.
Yeah, I was like, I need 18 projectiles. So we're gonna have 1 super. And Lord knows how many charge shots.
Well, apparently it's 180 damage. So that's 100 shots with no other additional ammunition. So,
God,
that's
Note the excitement in Andy's voice when he said that. Well, Andy, I got nothing else for you, Eddie.
Yep, we're going to mark Diddy done real quick.
Yep, I
wants to get
want to get them
interview.
in here. Hey, they did just finish. Okay.
See, through the powers of
Good ammo farming.
Going into the future, we can perhaps get Diddy in here.
I love Diddy's comment there in the race time room.
Not good at ammo farming.
No, the game isn't good at giving you ammo, Diddy. That's the difference. It's not a skill issue, it's a game issue.
There was a point where in the beginning of the game where I believe you both had to kind of struggle to like make the 5 power bombs work out. I remember that was a little bit sketchy.
Yeah.
I think you had some trouble with that, right, Andy? I think you went to the right and you like ran out and you're like, what do I do here? I think you had to hesitate for a bit.
Yeah, I was a little worried because you got spit out in the climb.
Exactly.
And you like there was a power bomb door, you need 2 power bombs to go in and out of all those doors.
Exactly. Yeah.
At least the fish tank was there, so you could at least farm the low percent bugs, and then like the major through the top power bomb spot was morph bomb, so it ended up being fine.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, it was a little weird.
So we need to make sure that Diddy actually got their invite.
Mm-hmm.
Because Diddy has not joined us yet, so we want to make sure we get them in here.
Let's see if we can manually send that invite out real quick. I'll do that.
All right. Well, it does that. Andy, I've actually got something for you. I know you're a longtime member of the Super Metroid community. What do you think of just map rando in general, of how big it's become and how fun it is compared to some of the other randos? Obviously, there's the Varia rando, there's Dash rando, there's Arcade, if you want to call that a rando.
I think this one blows the rest of them out of the water, and it's not even close.
There you go.
Is it the map shuffling that you enjoy? Is it the logic? Both.
It's just like the best bits of like a bunch of different SM randos all like crammed into one.
Mm-hmm.
Plus the in-game map that actually makes like logical sense is really cool.
Yeah, I think that's actually the hardest part.
Oh yeah, for sure.
I think they said that it took them 6 months to even get the machine learning algorithm to even get the map even valid in the first place, because
that's insane.
Yeah, like you said, it's like the map has to make sense, and that sounds like, okay, well, why don't you just connect an up door to a down door? But the thing is, if the rooms overlap, that's not valid, right? So like to actually figure that out is just so absurdly difficult, and the devs did an amazing job with it.
Like getting that
Updated
to
on
work with
regularly.
one area is like fine, but when you have to like have all these areas connected on like the larger
Yes.
scale map, that's where like the problems come in.
Yes, exactly. And like it's no simple task. I think they have essentially like a computer that has like what, 2 GTX 4090s or something like that. That's just like calculating and figuring out how to make these maps. So they have a
Yep.
map pool essentially. It's not easy to get this rando to actually work in the first place. It's a very complicated effort.
It's
What do
like
you
that
think of-
Drake meme, like mining crypto, nah, mining SM maps, hell yeah.
I mean, it's just
Alright.
interesting when you think of the, just the coding and the effort put behind,
Yep.
getting this to work. Like for the team to do it in 6 months, all the coding each room has and how it was supposed to act and to have it react. Shout out to Aussie and everyone else and the rest of the development team for doing that. Love this rando. And here is Diddy. GG's, Diddy.
GG, Andy.
No, GG's, Diddy.
Yeah, Diddy. So what were you kind of thinking during that month? GG on finishing this up, but yeah, any thoughts on kind of how that rando worked out for you? Any pivotal moments that you want to mention? There were definitely some that we were thinking about.
Yeah, so it was a good seed, and I kind of regret miscounting my power bomb and didn't push through when I first got to the left of criteria.
Yeah.
And then I had this whole part of ammo hunting at the end, and I just didn't want to take on Ridley or Mother Brain with a low super count, so that didn't work out very well for me.
Yeah. Unfortunately, in the climb room, I think if you went one room to the left, that was the first super pack that was easily available. And yeah, we were talking about how Andy chose to go to Norfair and you went to Bryn. And the first 2 items you find there were ice and charge. And we're like, oh my God, this is the God route. Diddy is going to win by so much. But because of the supers just not being anywhere else, if you went into Turian, then obviously you find Fantoon and things get, and then you go all the way down and kill all the bosses along the way to Mother Brain. But because of that super just kind of being just out of reach, unfortunately, yeah, it made you kind of go back down to Norfair first.
If I went up right of the climb, I would have got the domes and I wouldn't have been suffered.
Yep. Yeah.
And yeah, effectively, actually, both was super. I didn't realize that when I got them.
Yeah. And we were that super hunt you went on when you went through the screw attack room into the Bryn. I know you had to do a little bit of calculations in your head and you're like, okay, if I get this, can I get back out? I remember you're thinking about that. You chose to save. Unfortunately, it was just an E-tank. So lots of moments where it's like, oh man, if this is like a super or something like that, like it could have been different. So obviously today it didn't work out, but still have 2 more games potentially to play, 1 or 2 more games.
Absolutely.
Yes.
All right. Eddie, should I finish up and get us on out of here?
Yeah, well, first of all, Diddy, any final words that you want to say before we kind of close this out here?
Yeah, thanks for having us on such short notice, and have a good day, everyone.
All right. Sounds good.
Well, thank you to both Andy and to Diddy for an outstanding, amazing race. Lots of fun, suspense, and everything else that goes along with it. Big shout outs to Eddie for commentary. Much appreciated. Eddie, we have more racing tonight. 8 o'clock Eastern. Anthony versus Derp. All of the best of 3 is happening back to back to back. So 8 p.m., 9 p.m., and 10 p.m. Eastern. And that's going to be on Speedgaming 3. If you want some other Super Metroid action, we have the Dash Randomizer Mystery Tournament Week 5 finishing up today. DJ Webb versus Massisteria right here on the main Speedgaming channel at 5 p.m. Eastern. Kip and Kupo have you on comms for that. And at 8 p.m. Eastern is Cross Product versus Crazed Gamer. And that's over on Speedgaming 2. And as we see Diddy making their way back to the ship, that's going to do it for us here for Speed Gaming. We're going to wait for Diddy to actually head back to the ship, and then we're actually going to head on out of here. Let you see the full escape sequence, which, as we've talked about, Eddie, he's always pretty fun to watch.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. I do want to say that because Matt Brando is now in the bracket stage. Before, we had the qualifiers, and they were just specific days that we would play them. So you're only getting, matches, restream matches, like, just a few times, maybe a week. But now, because we're in that lower bracket stage, we're getting 3 games here and there. There's so many games going on. Basically, every day there's multiple games. So make sure to check that schedule and see where that Matt Brando content is going. You can follow the bracket and, cheer on your favorite players, cheer on everybody, because, everyone here is cool. The community is great. So, yeah, Diddy is heading on over and is going to be finishing up soon enough.
Yeah, and if you ever wanted to try your hand at commentary and or tracking, we're always looking for volunteers. Just join the... I guess, Eddie, the best thing to have them do for this particular tournament, if they want to get involved in Map Rando, is to join the Speed Gaming 2024 Discord, which, if you scroll back up on the Twitch chat, the links are posted there. Join the Discord and just sign up. All you need is a basic knowledge and understanding of the game. Most likely be paired with an experienced commentator. Like, Eddie fills in the technical stuff, where if I don't understand technical stuff, Eddie fills in, or Aussie. But, doing... And I've said this publicly, Eddie, and I'm going to say it to you, too. Doing comms with Aussie and yourself and MM2 NES cartridge, learning the technical pieces behind some of these tricks and whatnot is making me a better commentator, because I learn a heck of a lot more by listening to you all and watching. So if you ever want to get your hands out, even if you just don't want to do comms right away and you just want to dip your toes into volunteering, come do commentary. But that is going to be it for us. Eddie, any final words of wisdom before we hit the end button here?
No, that's it. Diddy finishing with an official race time of 1 hour, 10 minutes, and 10 seconds. GG to our runner-up, Diddy. There's still 2 more games coming up, potentially 2 more games, 1 or 2 more games coming up Monday between these two, so make sure to tune in during that time. But that's it for me.
All right, folks. For Andy and Diddy and Eddie, I'm WXFan21 saying we will see you next mission.